Welcome to the Soul Tribe Podcast. The Soul Tribe Podcast was created to help you navigate through the world of spirituality, wellness, and self-development in an easy, grounded, and relatable way. We break down everything from the Akashic records, manifesting, spirituality, and so much more. We want to help expand your boundaries and bring the spiritual world to you in a fun and easy way. Get ready to be inspired with tips, tools, and easy to digest information. Let's do this.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Soul Tribe Podcast. And today Lorena and I are together again. Because the last episode was together, right?
Yeah, we were recording the same place.
I mean, I feel like my memory's not fully here all the time lately. We'll be telling stories in the future. There's been a lot of chaos.
A lot going on.
And we're not fully prepared to talk about it because we like to talk about things on the podcast when we've already realized the lesson that it comes with, because everything happens for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a good thing, like, about when you get an Akashic Records reading, you'll you're either in the middle of something or you've gone through it, but you need like a conclusion to it, like a closer.
Understand it.
Or to put a nice little wrapped bow and say, this is why this happened. So, and that's almost like it lets you have closure or lets you move on or lets you bring in the lesson and just like not feel like a victim. We always talk about not being a victim, right?
Yep.
So I'm in the place where I don't have it in a neat little box and bubble to be like, this is what happened to us and this is the lesson. And now it's closed. We closured it.
We're literally treading in water right now. Literally.
No, literally. Yeah. Today is Sunday.
Sunday, June 25th.
I don't even know what day I'm in.
Lucia
it's been so
no
chaotic.
idea. Yesterday I'm like, it feels like Sunday. She's like, isn't it Sunday? I'm like, no, it's Saturday.
And then that was at the beach. And that was like we were trying to go to the beach to like cleanse and connect.
Relax.
Yeah, and reroute because a lot was going on. And then when we went to the supermarket, I was like, tomorrow, Monday, I'm starting the diet.
And I looked at her, I was like...
Because the chaos took me off of my healthy, like, patterns. And Lorena's like, tomorrow's Sunday. I'm like, oh, man.
You can start Sunday. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, I did. Yeah. Well, no, not really. Yes and no. I started some habits again that I already had. I need to get back on track. But I had I'm like you. I had a really nice routine going.
I felt good.
And then the world was like, kaboom!
I felt good, but I have some perspective on that, too.
Go ahead.
We're not going to go into what's happening now.
We have to learn to not have everything controlled?
Yes, but no, that's not what I'm saying. It's just that maybe the routine that I had wasn't working either. It wasn't really the routine or the things that I know are the best for me.
I think you were really busy.
Yep.
I know, like, Mom and we were neighbors now, and Mom and Dad are like, Lorena, I was like, oh, I don't know, she's something about this and something about that and something, I don't know. I think I'll see you later today, but I can't really remember.
Yeah. Yes, that's something I had to, like, stuff I'll talk about later, too, personal to myself, I guess, but makes me think a little bit more about being more mindful of the things that I put into my calendar, how I use my time. Also feeling really called to work in the groups with more people. Actually, with our community, I started offering, I'm just finished today, actually, the 4th group workshop for family system and ancestral healing.
Our membership community,
yeah. And that'll be something I'll be offering, to people very soon.
I'm going to be bringing back the Angelic healing where I used to do once a month.
Yeah.
I'll be bringing that back to the community as well, just when I finally settle down. And also because I have the whole Angelic program coming up, so I'm going to start it up after that. And then by then I'll be settled as well, more settled for that.
Yeah, I think it's not about control. It's more, what I'm thinking of more as being mindful of how I use my time. And the downtime that I do have, being able to use it really consciously for myself. Not for anybody else, for something. And the gym for me is that a lot of times, but I need to look for things outside of the gym as well, I think. Like going to the beach. Like I really enjoyed it. The other Sunday, so last Sunday, I went by myself and I just read for an hour. And that felt really good. I don't remember the last time I had done that by myself. I was like, wow, that feels good.
I don't know what that is anymore.
Yeah.
I'm a mom.
You're in a different situation though. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, a lot's going down right now for not only ourselves, but I think a lot of people in our community and probably anybody listening to this podcast, because I would imagine that it just feels very universal from everything that all the feedback we keep getting from people.
I mean, in closing cycles, a lot of people are closing cycles.
Yep.
It's like closing cycles, it's not a neat little process. It's not this like little neat process where you just put it in a backpack and you put, close it with a zipper and you throw it in the ocean and it's gone, right? Mm-hmm. Like closing cycles can sometimes be really
brutal.
Yeah, and take you off your balance for a while until you get back into the new. But you have to really release. Like, if there's one thing that I've really worked on since I left Holland is, because we're supposed to not be detached to anything. Did you know that? You're not supposed to be detached to anything.
Attached or detached?
You're not supposed to be attached. We're supposed to detach.
Yes.
That's actually fifth dimensional energy. So that means...
I've been feeling that for a while.
That means children. That means family. That means friends. That means houses. That means cars. That means material. Things that you feel like, this is always there for me. Mm-hmm. We're supposed to really let go of that. Mm-hmm. Now, for me, I've really been tested in the form of the house, right? Like I'm in my, let me start. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm in my 4th different apartment in 3 months. So and then the house in Holland. So this is 5 now.
Yep.
So I'm in my 5th different house in the last 4 months. And I've really learned to detach from like the house. So good. Thank you, universe. I learned that lesson.
And that's literally what I felt when I left Uruguay to come back here. I was like, even this whole idea and feeling more minimalist in how I was living and being able to have less things, buy less things, carry less things with me, depend on less things. Even in the way I was working, I was like, how can I streamline things? How can I start to do things more simply without crowding my brain with so much, right? Even in my to-do list, trying to be more mindful of the things that I actually do, my priorities. Yeah. But detaching, I think, is I felt that very strongly from the beginning of the year, actually, from January.
Yeah. And it's something that a lot of people find hard, and everybody's gonna have it in a different way. Some people are really attached to like a house. Mm. Some people, you see that a lot in maybe like old people that built their own house. Like it's almost like defines them in a way. This is, I think,
memories too.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. Some people have that with their household, like where they grew up. Some people will have that with, I don't know, a town, a country, even a church, a religion. Some people will just have it with family where like they grew out of their family, but it's like they can't detach from it because we're taught that blood is everything, right?
Oh, then there's certain belief systems in the family system that will keep you in a cycle.
Yeah. Yeah, so we're supposed to detach from everything. That's what 5D is. It's that we're supposed to become our own, I said this before, like our own guru. And we have to govern ourselves. We no longer need a government. We have to govern ourselves. That doesn't mean that you're governing your sibling, your parent, your child. It means that you govern yourself. Just you. You have your authority over yourself, and that's about it. Mm-hmm. So that's where we're supposed to get to. But it's a process, right? But speaking of the rooting thing, like for me, I've always had rooting problems. It was always because my upper chakras are used for my readings. I'm doing, there's times where I'll spend more time connected and doing readings than I will rooting myself in my day. And so when I finally picked up on the fact that I had rooting problems, that's when the whole grounding course came through in the Udemy.
Yeah, I remember that.
Right? Mm-hmm. That's when the whole grounding course thing came out, where we created that course and it was all channeled, and then I learned how important grounding was. So I worked really hard and I finally got there, but it always been like a sore spot for me. And then when I came to move here, I was really worried about it because I knew that I was uprooting from the place I'd lived for the last almost 5 years, and I was coming all the way here. And so I worked really hard, and I remember grabbing my Healy, which is, I'll leave the link below, but for those that don't know, I have whole YouTube videos as well. I explain what the Healy is, but I have a Healy, and it has a quantum sensor where it could read your energy. And so I was reading my frequency to see what exactly was showing for my rooting, because I knew that I was off from the move, and it was at that point the lowest it had ever been. And I was like, oh my gosh, I need to like check my I need to check myself. So when I went to check my chakras, I realized that my root chakra was the lowest it had been since I had ever checked it. And then I worked really hard where I was like every day I was at the beach with Aurora at some point, and I would like consciously connect with the sand, or when I put my feet in the ocean I would like try to consciously connect with Gaia. So I was doing all these things every single day. And then I finally made, like after I think it was like about a month of being very conscious about it and checking it, I finally made it to 98, like out of 100, 98 on my root chakra, which is massive for me.
That's great.
Because I was never able to get that high when I was in Holland. So, but I worked really hard to get there, like a month and a half, maybe something like that. And then stuff happened. Mm-hmm. And I had to leave my apartment very last minute, like finding out at 8 a.m. that I'm not going to be staying in that apartment for probably a week. Ended up being 2 weeks, more actually. And it was like chaos. Like someone's coming to your house at 8 a.m. to do construction that you were told was like a minor thing and that you were just going to leave for the day. And then finding out, no, you're not living here anymore for the time being. And not even being able to get most of your stuff out. Just get the basics.
It was so chaotic.
Yeah, it was just getting out the basics and being put somewhere like, just stay here for now, right? I finally felt like I was balanced and okay, and then I started feeling really bad. And I realized I was feeling like bad. You know, not like sick bad, but you know when you feel bad?
You feel off.
Yeah.
Very off. Off balance, off everything.
And I was very upset about it because I'd worked really hard to get to a balanced place.
Especially with Aurora and everything, right?
Yeah, Aurora was really upset about it too. And so I checked my energy again. I checked my auras after a few days after that happened. And my root chakra at that point was the lowest it had ever been in the history of checking my. And it was at 30, Lorena.
I remember you showing that to me.
30 is really low. My lowest before that had been 60, I think. So 30 was literally the lowest it had been. And it took me quite a few days to get it up. And it's still kind of, But I've been working with the Healy to get my root chakra to get better, which has been helping me. But the funny thing is, I didn't tell you about this. Getting off of the root chakra issue and getting to like speak about the Healy. The other day, remember Aurora was in like the worst mood ever. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh my God, I don't even know how to sustain this. She was just like the most complicated mood.
She was a couple of days like that, actually.
Oh my God, it was I should have grabbed the Healy sooner. Mm-hmm. Because that night after I was like about to lose it with her, I remember that night I said, Aurora, give me your hand. And I put the Healy in her hand and I read her. And it said she needed to run acute contentment, which basically means she's not happy. Mm-hmm. So Lorena, like, believe it or not, like the freaking Healy's insane. Because she was laying right that night next to me and we were like watching something together and I got her to read the frequency, her Healy and stuff. And then I ran up the program Acute Contentment. And I think within 15 minutes of the program running, she started cracking jokes, being so funny and saying really funny things to me. And her humor and her mood completely changed.
She's very much like that unless she's upset.
Oh, she's very funny. And she's like a super funny kid. Yeah. So I was like, this Healy, man. Like, I forgot to tell you that story.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I forgot to tell you about that. Yeah. So I use it on myself, but I need to use it on her more frequently. I need to remember that. But that's... But then something else happened, which we're not ready to talk about yet. But then something even worse happened, where I had to move again. And when I put that in a nice little neat box of what's the lesson and what's the reason, then I'll come back and tell everybody about it. We did speak about it on the membership community. I shared the chaos that was with everything happening. Because the cool thing about the community is like we share it and we don't have it in a nice neat box, but everyone's like very enlightened in their own way. So everyone's like, I think this is happening to you guys. I think it's
I love that. Like I went back and read it because I've been a bit busy this week, but I went in and read everything. I was like, oh wow. And you'd been giving me the updates, so I was like, okay.
I was like, okay, I have to tell a story. And I went on to tell the story, and it was like an 18-minute audio of me going, this happened, this happened, this happened, this happened. Like, oh my God. Too much. So I guess that leads me to the whole, the importance of being really self-aware, like knowing what your limit is and where you are. Because it could be something disrupts maybe it's a house, maybe it's a job, maybe it's a family member, maybe it's a tragedy in the family, like whatever it is. something disrupts you, you need to really check in on yourself and know your new limits.
Yep.
You'll have new different limits. And so that's important. I was already aware of it, and I just used the apparatus that is the Healy, the device that is the Healy, to kind of double check what I knew.
Reconfirm.
Yeah, reconfirm. That's the word.
And to also change the vibration of it.
Yeah. It's a frequency. Like I changed it from a frequency place, and I was being conscious about it. So just be really conscious about where you are and whatever change is coming in, because the closing of cycles doesn't always have to be a nice little neat thing wrapped in a bow.
Yep.
Sometimes it comes in as chaos, because chaos it reminds me of that card, the tarot card, the foundation. What is it? The tower.
The tower, yeah.
Like the end of things is the tower, and the tower, when that tower falls, it's not going to be like a really nice, neat, all the blocks coming down. It's going to be.
Yeah, and there's always something to that, how things happen, right? Of it, something being taken away, like losing your job, or somebody passing, or you being. It's like there's no control over the situation. It's just happening.
Yeah.
There's something to that crumbling or taking, or something being taken or taken down, that I think is also teaching us something. You know, is it something you're trying to sustain that no longer serves you? What are you trying to force? What is it aligned with what you really need? Is there something better? There's like so many things, but that's where the self-awareness that you were saying really comes in, because we can go into that victim role, which that's an option, right? Or we can go into those emotions of whatever we're feeling. We could be mad, we can be sad, we can be upset, we can feel unbalanced, we can feel ungrounded, acknowledge them, but then also try to get insight on what the situation and everything that's happening is telling you. In a sense, maybe the situation you're living isn't making you happy. Or there is something better. I'm sure there is. Usually there is something better, but we don't believe that there's something better. We don't feel like we can get something better.
Yeah. Or you don't feel like you deserve it.
Or you don't deserve it, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's becoming self-aware. That's part of the governing yourself. Becoming self-aware.
Very
How can you
important.
govern yourself if you don't understand what's going on with you internally?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that a lot of people do distracting. Like, we see it here.
I
right?
do it.
We see it everywhere around us. Like, people distract themselves from whatever it is that they don't want to, like, deal with at the time. It's the avoidance mechanism, right?
Mm-hmm. There's different ways to do that, right?
Yeah. There's different ways of doing that. You can do it by keeping yourself busy.
I do that.
You can do it by numbing with whatever substance you'd like to use, your preference, your substance of preference.
Yeah.
You can be doing it via, like, just not acknowledging that you're not.
Not giving yourself space or time to feel into whatever you're going through.
Yeah.
We all have to stop.
Sometimes there's not acknowledgement, like that you're in that place. Sometimes it's avoided. Like,
it's complete denial.
Yeah, denial. That's the word I was looking
Yeah.
for. Denial. That's right. Yeah. Yeah. So, governing yourself means, really being aware of yourself, and it's a whole nother way of being. It's a whole nother way of maintaining yourself. And I always said that I know that you were never good with change. I was always good with change. I'm okay with, like, and I think change is exciting usually, but when it's affecting me in my, like, balance, now it's like, okay, wait, like, every once in a while something would come in and change. I'd be like, yeah, super excited about it, or I would make the decision for that change, and it'd be great. But when it comes in the way it comes in, like,
One thing's you choose it, another thing's it's happening to you.
yeah.
Which,
Yeah.
if you look underneath it all, it's happening for a reason, but we just don't know it at the moment, and we just get overwhelmed, and we feel all over the place. We feel frustrated, we feel sad, we feel angry,
Yeah.
and we can those emotions can overcome us, and then all of a sudden, and we're like lost. We don't know where we're standing, what we're actually feeling.
Yeah. And, like, when you become an Akashic Records reader, another way of saying it is when you become a therapist, because it's not like you're a psychologist, but it's like you're helping people deal with.
You're holding space for people.
Yeah, that's another word for it. And you start realizing of your own things, because you'll hear yourself channeling and saying to this person something, and you'll be like, oh yeah, I need to take that in to note myself.
Oh yeah.
It's like it makes you become more self-aware of yourself as well, becoming that, like, space holder.
Yeah.
So it's really interesting because, and I remember when we taught level 1, it's you really just getting level 1 is you receiving information for yourself. But level 2, I remember always, like, thinking that level 2 was going to be like a whole nother ballpark. And that it wasn't about me at all, ever.
Yeah.
And obviously it's not. But I remember that my teacher teaching me this, and then realizing how true it was after so many years of being a reader, and then teaching it as well us. It's the amount of things that you learn, even about yourself, when you're holding space for other people. It's insane.
Yeah, and the people you attract to, remember there's energy in that too, of who comes to you, the topics that you're attracted to, how they present themselves, how you relate to it. And sometimes it's to show you something. Sometimes it's because it's telling you got to heal that. I did a whole episode on healing as healers. I'll link that here. Definitely listen to that if you are on this journey of helping others, because I thought that was really interesting. Some of the insight that I received through all the courses I've done and everything that I've been through and what we've seen with Lucia through the Akashic records. It's important that we're all doing our own healing, right? And not distracting ourselves. Yeah.
And that reminds me of like how we were talking about the energies coming in from, we're already in it all the way to the end of August. Some people will have like the perspective that like higher energies coming in, and we've seen it in the Schumann resonance. I think everybody listening probably seen it. If you haven't, look it up. The Schumann resonance that hit on the 18th, which is so funny because in the membership community, I was telling everybody that on the 17th the portal was opening. Mm-hmm. All right, and I literally posted it. I recorded it and said tomorrow. Yeah, so I recorded on the 16th my episode for the month for the membership community, and I was like, tomorrow the 17th the portal is opening, and then the 18th, so I put it up, and then the 18th, the next day, we saw the whole Schumann resonance. Insane.
It was insane.
It was like the biggest confirmation ever.
Without even wanting to look into that information, it popped up for me on social media.
Everyone was talking about it because it's insane. The patterns that came in. It was the portal that opened.
Yeah.
It was the portal that opened. The energy's coming in, and it's like we have the right to grab onto that energy for doing all the letting go and all the clearing and cleansing, and no more negative patterns, and no more accepting things that don't suit you, and taking a step into whatever it is that you...
Taking responsibility.
Being more purposeful and intentional, and I mean, I could make... My list could go on.
Oh, God, yeah. Yeah.
It's so many things that brings into the equation, but those energies are here to help you with that process. And when like we talk about like those energies coming in, I think a lot of people, or even a lot of us think like, yay, wee, like, right? You just think it's going to be amazing, but that energy can't come into your life if what usually suited you before that no longer suits you. It has to collapse.
Yeah.
The tower has to collapse, and so...
Yeah, in order for something to come in, a door needs to close.
It might not be comfortable. It may be uncomfortable for a while, but also we don't create the most amazing scenarios from our place of comfort. We talk about that a lot, too.
No, and you don't grow, you don't learn, you don't expand if you're not pushing yourself out of that comfort zone. That's where growth happens. That's where learning and healing happens, too.
But also, like, your comfort zone is going to keep you in the same place, doing the same thing.
Some people are okay with that, and that's fine if you choose that, right? But I think a lot of people that listen to this podcast want more. They want more. They're searching for more. They're searching to heal. A lot of people that listen to this podcast. And I get this through a lot of readings, a lot of Akashic record readings. People that come to me, they know. I don't even have to tell them. They know that they have a responsibility to help heal their entire family. It's not like it's on their shoulders, but they know that they're playing that role in the family by healing themselves. And that's a commitment that everybody makes to themselves and to their system, right?
With the Mayan calendar, the Mayan astrology, it's usually a certain sign inside of the family that's the one that brings it in. But if you look at it from outside without looking at like a typical calendar or structure religion, it's usually the firstborn that carries the family lineage,
really?
Like the karma stuff. Yeah,
it's interesting. I've seen that in family constellations, but it's not always the first one.
And in this case, your dragon. That's your stamp, your sign. And so the dragon is literally about that.
Yeah.
And now that could be that you're doing it for the family, but in your case, you're also doing it that's the next step in your career, and you're helping people do that.
Oh, I try to help everybody do that.
It's like you're doubly taking on that stamp that is the one you were born into.
Yeah.
It's interesting. Yeah. So not everyone actually is, in my opinion at least, not everyone's here to carry the family karma. It's usually specifically, I usually find that there's the structure from it. Like, I think our family is a typical structure of that. It's like, you are the one that's grabbing on and helping the whole family heal all the karma. And I'm the one that's supposed to help break down the structure, like how we're supposed to do things. I'm supposed to be an example of
totally
new way of doing things. So you have the Akashic workers. When I do readings on people, it might be somebody that I'm reading. It might be someone they ask about, like a family that the member that they're asking about, and they call them system breakers, the Akashic records. So they had to bring in a bunch of souls that came in to be system breakers, because that's literally helping people come out of the matrix. So system breakers, I know that are born into families to help the family as like a union itself, to not follow the matrix system. So then that's an independent group of individuals. But then you have system breakers inside of the bigger system, right? So it's like, what were the system breakers again? Walkers. I think they called them caminante. Caminante de cielo, caminante. It's in Spanish, the stamp. In English, it would be walkers.
Yeah, walkers, caminantes, walkers.
Heaven walkers. Those are the ones supposedly that are system breakers.
Yeah.
That are. That's what they're supposed to bring the heavens down, but they're also supposed to be just like walking among us, but showing us a different way to walk. Like, you can walk this path over here. You can walk that path over there. You don't have to walk the path that everyone always walks. So it's interesting from the mind perspective, how everybody has their stamp, and I've noticed that it's so aligned with the person. It's insane. Yeah. I'm excited to finish and then start doing Mayan astrology readings for people. But I'm not there yet, but almost. And it's just fascinating because I'm learning this now, and I'm seeing that your sign is so you. My sign isn't the walker, though. I'm the wizard.
The wizard?
Yeah. I'm the wizard, which kind of makes sense, too.
Yeah, kind of, yeah.
And the funny thing about the wizard is that the wizard, supposedly, they domain their own time. Time functions differently for the wizard. And if you think about it, I do things like this. Like, I'm always one, like, I make decisions, like, and I get it done, and, like, I move things quickly.
True. Yeah.
That's totally the wizard energy. And so it's interesting just to, like, see people that you already know or yourself, and then look at the stamp and be like, my gosh, the Mayans were so right. But I kind of got us off topic. Why did we end up with the topic of...
I don't remember.
System breakers?
We were talking about...
We were talking about the family, the dragon, that you're the dragon...
The family, and like I see a lot of people in Akashic record readings where they're here to help take responsibility or heal things for the entire family, ancestral kind of lineage.
I think it's important, though, they don't take too much responsibility.
It's not responsibility in the sense of them feeling like they have to do it. It's that they themselves healing and doing things differently will heal and break cycles in the family system.
Yeah.
It's kind of like what you're saying.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But a lot of chaos can happen with that too, because the one that comes here to do it differently a lot of times feels excluded or isn't part of the family, or they exclude themselves. And then
she's talking about me.
Basically, yeah. Yeah. Well, I think we're both doing it in different ways. That's what I'm saying. I don't know if there's one way around it, but it doesn't mean that the person that is healing is the one that's excluded. It depends. That depends.
A lot of my big life decisions and steps I took, I usually took them without the family being, like, backing me up. Like, getting married. You guys weren't there when I got married?
We couldn't.
Well, I was going to go to Uruguay to do it, and Mom and Dad said, don't do it in Uruguay because we're not going to your wedding. So I got married without you guys there.
I wasn't even in Uruguay. I was in
Brazil.
Brazil.
You were in Brazil, I know.
I was working. I couldn't even get time off work.
Yeah, I remember asking you, when can you get off work? You're like, not any time the rest of this year.
I just started my job.
So I was just like, no one can. And then even like when I had like Aurora, I had a bunch of issues. Like, we couldn't even get Mom and Dad's. Remember, Mom wanted to be here when Aurora was born. We couldn't even get Mom's. They lost a passport. They went to apply for the visa, and they lost their passport for like 6 months.
No, that was before. That was when I was with them in Uruguay. I was here when Aurora was born.
She couldn't make it.
She had gone to California, remember, with Christos and Foster, and then she came here. But it just took I think it just took longer than it was expected.
Yeah, it was too long.
But it all ended up working out.
Yeah. Well, it's easy for you to say that. I went through a lot. Like for me,
I'm saying working out that she could make it here. That's what I mean.
Yeah. It was a bit of a nightmare from my side, everything that I went through, but...
Yeah, and I'm not talking about that. Yeah. That's different.
But anyways, that's what happens when you break systems. You're here to do things differently. Not everyone's going to be walking the path with you.
They're not going to be on your side. They might not agree with you.
Because that's not what the society says the way you're supposed to do it.
That too, yeah.
And so a lot of people frown upon you doing it a certain way if society's like, no, but that's not the proper way to do it. And you're supposed to do this and this and this and this and this, right? And so our time, our era, our generation, they're here to literally do it in the way that they feel that resonates and vibrates with them.
Yeah, I'm just fascinated. We're recording and I'm looking out the window because we're kind of watching Aurora play outside, and there's people standing in front of a van. The guy's standing in front of the big fan because he's so hot. Oh my gosh.
It's so hot.
It's so hot here right now.
What is it at right now? Let me check. No, like, I know that I haven't been in heat for a while like this.
I've been inside. I'm inside a lot.
Everyone's talking about how this is already hotter than it's been previous years.
29 degrees. That's pretty hot.
No, it's 31. That was this morning, Lorena.
Oh, sorry.
my
31. Yeah, that's pretty hot.
But the sensation, so the real feel is 38. So we're almost at 40 for real feel. It's insane hot. I was sitting outside studying, and I'm in the shade, but I was just sitting out there and just. And I just had my shorts on and my sports bra on. That's it. And I was sitting there. I was just dripping while I was just sitting there studying.
Yeah, I don't know how you were sitting out there. I was like, "What are you doing?"
I don't want to be stuck inside all day studying.
I know.
I have a lot of studying to do, and also Aurora needs she can go play. The beach is right there. The pool's right there. She put her bathing suit on. She was jumping in and out, and I was able to kind of study in peace, sort of say.
Yeah.
Right.
Gotta make it work.
Yeah. I'm doing what I gotta do. Doing it my own way because I'm making my own structure because I'm a system breaker.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, so that's kind of like, for now, that's our update because it's been really...
Interesting. I keep saying it's been interesting. That's my word.
Yeah.
I don't know what else to say.
What have I been saying? It's been rough? It's been rough?
It's been rough, yeah. But you know what? A few things happened at the same time and I'm like, this is an opportunity for me to change some things. Make a shift because something isn't working.
I have to say though, guys, without saying what happened, because we don't have it ready to like say the whole thing, but it's like, I always, on the podcast, I said it more than once, like, if an emergency happens, Lorena's not the person you want there. Okay, well, emergency...
I was the person that was there at the right time and did the right thing.
Yeah, Lorena finally was the person to be like, no,
I was like, move. I was like literally in action mode.
You were in action mode. I was the one who was like, what?
And I had just come from 2 meetings. I was exhausted. I was like, literally was trying to just get home to take a nap. And I got here at the perfect time. I don't understand. I think it's like you needed me. It's like the universe.
Yes, I needed you. I don't know how I would have done it without you.
I don't know.
I was just I was
crazy.
Believing what everyone around me was saying.
I was like, don't believe them. Do what I'm telling you.
And I was like, oh,
because I've been right every time they've said one thing. I'm like, it's not this, it's this. I'm like,
everything's gonna be okay.
Trust your gut. Like I'm trusting my gut more and more. As it just, people will try to calm you down and say one thing because they don't want to be in trouble, or they don't want to like freak you out. But it's like, trust your intuition always, always, always.
My intuition was in La La Land. I was like, yay, it's going to be a great day.
I had already woken up exhausted. I was like, something's happening here.
You created it.
I didn't create it.
You created it.
I wasn't thinking of anything happening. I was literally busy working. And I get here all excited to relax, and I'm like, something's off.
The other day, was it before yesterday where I was like, you know what? Tonight I'm just going to sit down and relax. Where it's like, stop saying that. Every time you say you're going to sit down, relax, and do nothing, something happens.
Yeah, I'm like, don't relax, work, do something. Move your butt.
Oh, God. I did notice that happening.
Yeah.
I guess you noticed that pattern.
Definitely.
Oh, so before we go, I wanted to make sure to say that, and so this comes out tomorrow. So we have about a week left to sign up for Angelic program. Let me check. Something like that. So it's like it's a week. It's about a week you have left to sign up for the Angelic program. And the Angelic program runs for a whole month. It's a downloaded program where the angels told me things, rituals, and alchemical processes that we can and should do to be able to start releasing all the stuff from 3D to go into 5D, to release all our karma and to go into Dharma, to disconnect from the matrix and connect to our higher self, our I am, and to live our essence and our purpose and our true path. And so it's a whole month of work, and you get 4 distance angelic healing sessions that come in company with the process to assist the person with all the chemical and ritual work that was done. So that's for the whole month of July. It's really easy to sign up. We'll leave the link under the information for the episode.
Yep.
You just click on it, pick the only date that shows up for you it's just like a formality. Pick the only date that shows up for you to click on to book, and then I'll take you to the checkout page, which the whole program for the whole month is super cheap. It's only $55. So you just pay, and then right away you already get the first email with the information, and then every Monday you'll be getting another email telling you the next alchemical ritualistic program process.
There's a chat.
Yeah, we have a Telegram chat, so little by little, and because I have some people that signed up and didn't join the Telegram group, so remember to get on the Telegram group if you've already joined, because that's where you can ask me directly, but there's going to be a bunch of people in the group as well who have already done the program, because I re-invited everyone who did it to come back to do it for free. So you're going to have a bunch of people who have already done it and already know how to figure it out, because it's the same program, they're just doing it again. So just make sure that if you did sign up, get on the Telegram group. It's also a great place to chat about how the program's been for you, how you're feeling, any questions you have, and I'm on it too.
And support each other too, right?
Yeah. So we'll all be in that energy together for a whole month. We'll all be doing the same exact alchemical ritualistic process, and I've gotten a lot of really, really good feedback from people that have already done it, to the point where some people are coming back to do it again because they really liked it. Yeah. So I would love to see you guys there. Please sign up, and it's a way to be part of another type of community and just become co-creators. Decide how you want to live your life. You're writing your contract. There's a contract you write as well, so there's decrees going on. There's a bunch of stuff. It's just amazing.
Yeah. And I'll just mention I have a giveaway running that I will be picking a winner on the 30th of June. I think it's 30th. Is this Friday the 30th? 26th or 7th, 28th,
yes.
29th, 30th. Yeah. So Friday the 30th. So I'll put the link to that also on the show notes. And I think that's it. Yeah. And definitely come join the community, the podcast community. We have some beautiful people, lots of supportive energy.
And a lot of activities going on.
Lots of activities going on, yeah. We have to do our quarterly call really soon. I'm also scheduling in a July call for because we have what we call the Soul Tribe Social Club. So it's basically anybody that's starting a business that needs some help with the back end of things. So we had a first call where we just talked in general about everything and where people needed support. We post that on the community portal, and then we basically are just seeing where everybody needs support. So the first official support call will be about email marketing. So yeah, we have a few people that can chime in, and I'll be organizing that and helping people in whatever way. And then we'll have a little chat group where we can also ask questions and ask for advice. And it's just kind of a supportive community within the community, which is really nice because not everybody's there that has a business or starting a business. So I really love that. And it's something I wish I had when I started all this with the podcast and everything. So yeah, we're just kind of going with the flow with the community, seeing what people need and bringing in whatever is that's needed. So yeah.
We also have the quarterly call in July.
Yeah, we have the quarterly call coming up real soon.
All of us get on a call and just kind of chat, spend some time together.
Yeah, and we have a book club as well. And yeah, there's tons of things that we're constantly adapting to, flowing, seeing what people need, what people want, and always asking for feedback. So
join our community. We'd love to see you there.
Yeah.
It'd be awesome. It's growing little by little.
Yeah, and also a reminder, we do Akashic record readings.
Oh yeah.
I always forget to mention that because people ask.
Oh, also my booking system is super, super easy. So now you just literally, any of the services, you go in, you pick the date, you pick the time that's best for you. And I added a bunch of different dates because I had a lot of people having issues because I was only doing it at night. So now I have daytimes and nighttimes. So you can just go and you press book, you pick the date and the time you want, and you check out, and that's it. Perfect. It's booked and it goes right into your calendar. You get the link because I do with Google Meets. You get the link right away, and super easy to set up.
Amazing.
I tried to make everything more automatic. It's easier for everybody.
Yeah, everybody. And things need to be easier, more streamlined, less stress. I'm still doing it the old-fashioned way, but I like it. I like the connection, and for now it works for me, so. We'll put all those links on the show notes, and we'll see you guys next week with a new episode of the Soul Tribe Podcast. Thanks, guys.
Bye, guys. Thank you.